we're going to hit the Nullarbor. It's going to take us about 2.5 days worth of driving, but for you, it's going to happen in an instant. And so, let's see you at the other end of the Nullarbor right now. Here we are in Norseman at the end of the Nullarbor. Several days later. Wow, that was boring. And that wraps up our Nullarbor adventure. Nah, just kidding. We'll show you everything that happened along the way.
We left Streaky Bay, passed through Ceduna, and booked a couple of nights in a little town called Penang, not knowing at all what to expect.
Howdy.
G'day, mate.
We're in Penang, a tiny little town.
Population of 280.
Like 200 people. Yeah, near the start of the Nullarbor. And you kind of get different vibes for different towns. Like sometimes a town is actually really well equipped and well stocked, but there's something about it you can't quite put your finger on, and it kind of sucks.
You kind of feel like you don't belong or you're not quite welcome. And it's not by any active attempts by anyone, it's just a feeling.
And sometimes you come to a town where there's pretty much nothing here. There's a caravan park, there's a tiny general store where we just paid $9 something for a little tub of milk and some frozen vegetables. And there's a pub, and that's pretty much it, and a petrol station. But the vibes in this tiny little town are actually really great. Everyone's really super friendly. There's a windmill museum just over here. I think that one right there is the world's largest windmill, they claim. I don't know, just a weird little nice town. So anyone coming along the Nullarbor, especially going west to Perth, don't stay in Ceduna. Go to Ceduna, do your shopping, and come and stay here, because it's like less than an hour away from Ceduna, and it's really quiet. You already knock off like some of the journey to wherever you're going to camp along the Nullarbor. Come here instead. It's super nice. It doesn't have a lot, but as long as you already have what you need, it's a great little town.
Also a really nice place to just stop and get some rest and relaxation, especially if you're fanging it across the Nullarbor. Really nice facilities as well, so you can just catch up on some laundry, just chill.
There are a couple of flies, but not that bad. Really, not that bad.
I really like it here.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's weird. I really like it here.
Yeah, it's cool. Good morning, honey bum.
Hi.
Isn't it nice to wake up in the morning and not be covered in about an inch of dew water on the car?
It's also really nice to bum off somebody else's Starlink.
Shh, don't. Someone around here's got a Starlink. Because she always finds out.
From Penang, we set off along the Nullarbor, with the camp near the border of WA on the Bunda Cliffs. And here is a view of the journey. Isn't it just magnificent? Oh, there was a sign. That was cool. And back to the road.
Oh, and there's the Nullarbor Roadhouse. And back to the road. Isn't it just captivating? And just as I was contemplating driving the car off the road into a ditch to end the boredom, we found ourselves at the Bunda Cliffs, and they were beyond breathtaking. It truly feels like you're standing on the edge of the world. Christine was so excited by the scenery, she broke out into a transcendental boogaloo.
Good morning
Good morning.
from South Australia, the official last morning.
From the border is about 10 k's in that direction. So
13 to be precise.
we camped on the cliffs last night, and it was pretty cool. The Bundy Cliffs is like a super famous camping spot. We weren't actually on the Bundy Cliffs, but Wikicamp said that there were really amazing views from this campsite, and they were right. The views were awesome.
I think as far as roads in Australia, I believed in my heart of hearts that this was going to be the driest, most desert-like, hot, the visions on movies and TVs of the glistening glare of the tar because it's so hot and the reflections of a road train in it. No.
It's been wet and cold.
First rain of the trip.
Sort of. We've had rain before, but not like when we've had to do stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not just the rain, it's the wind.
It's going sideways.
So it's going right underneath the awning, left to right, right to left.
Yeah, this is fun. YOLO.
Really wet and really cold.
Actually, our first rain on this trip has been here.
Yeah.
On the Nullarbor.
In the desert.
What the hell?
Oh, we woke up this morning and there was like a tiny bit of drizzle, so I quickly put the tent down. And the rain never really got heavy, but it was just constant, and then the wind picked up, and so then everything gets wet.
Sideways.
Everything gets wet when
Us
it's
included.
not when it's raining. When it's raining down, that's fine. We can figure that out really easily. When it's going this way, nothing you can do.
And now we've got to go over the border to Western Australia.
Over the border into WA, finally.
And do quarantine checks. Now, Australians would be very used to this, but I think literally anywhere else in the world, the concept of having a quarantine check within a country's borders, it's quite bizarre.
Whatever. I really don't care.
So we've been seeing a lot of people get rid of their garlic and their onions and their fruit and veg and things at different caravan parks on the way in. We've been speaking to a bunch of people and saying it's like quite fussy. We finished up the last of our honey this morning because we've got to get rid of that.
Yep.
We had a very veggie rich meal last night, which I'm not complaining about. But yeah, we had to get rid of everything, and it's a bit weird to plan ahead that way. But I think we nailed it.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah?
We've got plenty of food. We don't have any fresh vegetables. We've got some frozen stuff.
Just cook everything.
Not a big deal.
And just declare. Honestly, I get why Australians just declare it. Just say everything. I'm sure we'll speak to you after the border if anything goes wrong, but I really doubt it.
She's making such a massive deal out of nothing.
Because everyone's talking about it.
I couldn't give a shit. So what? We don't have any vegetables. What we do? Where we go?
Right. South Australia, done.
Done.
Go team! Never mind my foreign anxieties, no issues with quarantine. We made it into Western Australia. And now back to the end of the Nullarbor for a wrap-up.
Wow, that was boring.
It's a long, straight road, nothing to do, limited water, and I don't think I've ever seen, this might sound weird, but bigger skies, because the landscape is just so flat. It feels like you're in the biggest skyline of your life.
Yeah, some things were pretty and cool. Like, the scenery did change a little bit. The hour and a half's drive after you go over the border into WA, because there's a long mountain that runs by the side of the road, an escarpment that runs for hours, and all that was actually really beautiful. The rest of it, most boring crap road that we've done across the country.
When a bunch of Australians heard that we were doing this trip, they told me, "Oh, you going to do the Nullarbor and everything?" And it amassed into this really big, important thing in my head. Like, we need to be well equipped and well prepared. Like, just don't safari about? It's just long.
It was just long, boring road. But anyway, it's just and also the thing is, it's kind of funny is that because it's the one road that traverses the continent, the country/continent, it funnels all the traffic from east to west and west to east through it. So when we were in South Australia, we really didn't see that many travelers. Like, we kind of had a lot of places to ourselves in a weird way. And as soon as you got on the Nullarbor, weirdly, for such like a desolate road, it was really busy. We actually saw lots more traffic than we've seen on the trip so far. And now we're at the other end of it. I think we're going to see a lot less traffic because some folks go to Esperance and some folks just kind of start exploring wherever they go. So now it's going to get nice and quiet again, the way that I like it. Yeah. End of the Nullarbor. Done. And dusted. Into WA. And a wrap up of South Australia as well, seeing as now we've crossed the border. South Australia was awesome. Absolutely loved it. And if we had more time and more money, or if we were to do something like this again, now we know where we want to spend a lot more time and money and where we'd spend a lot less.
The peninsulas were insane. Except for York. York
was seriously boring and pretty much a waste of time and diesel, and therefore money.
We cannot recommend the Fleur Peninsula and the Eyre Peninsula enough.
Although the Eyre Peninsula, the western side of the Eyre Peninsula, be prepared for the wind, because the wind there is basically, from what we understand, it's windy all year round and it's quite strong. So just be prepared for that. But all in all, yeah, it was a magnificent part of the trip so far. So that was really cool. Our first stop in WA was the historic town of Kalgoorlie. It's an interesting place with a wild history. The olden day Kalgoorlie was a thriving and industrious outback city with people from all over the world trying their hand at fighting gold in the dirt. Modern day Kalgoorlie is sadly a very quiet place full of French FIFO workers and not much to do. But it hasn't lost any of its architectural beauty or significance. You know what they say about Kalgoorlie?
Oh, is it pointing at me?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
That is the biggest hole in Australia. Nah, I'm only joking. This is the biggest hole in Australia, just outside of Kalgoorlie. Let's go take a look, shall we? So to get a sense of scale, that vehicle trundling up the hill, they can carry 166 tons of material. That's how big the vehicle is, and that's how big the hole is. Mind-blowing.
We had a look at the Goldfields Museum, which was definitely worth the time. It tells the story of the area and how much has changed over the last century. Overall, we enjoyed Kalgoorlie. The pubs are incredible, arguably the most beautiful in Australia.
Next week we're heading back to the coast with a bush camp or two along the way, checking out the beautiful beaches of Esperance. Suited up, ready to go for a snorkel in the beautiful Lucky Bay and even more stunning waters along the southwest coast of WA.